If your heart rate spikes when you get a bank notification, you aren't bad with money. You are being farmed. The financial system doesn't want you broke. It wants you exhausted, complicated, and entirely dependent on your next paycheck. Today, I'm going to show you the minimalist money rules that strip away the noise, kill the anxiety, and make you completely unextractable. The biggest lie we've been sold is that financial stability is a mathematical problem. We think if we just find the right spreadsheet, the right app, or the right 1% optimization on our portfolio, the anxiety will vanish. But look around. Some of the most stressed people I know earn six-figure salaries, and some of the calmest people I've ever met live on half that. The problem isn't the math. The problem is the architecture of our lives. We've built our lifestyles like a house of cards. We've been conditioned to believe that as soon as our income increases, our needs must increase at the exact same rate. We call it lifestyle creep, but psychologists call it the hedonic treadmill. It's a mechanism designed to keep you running in place, exhausted, while the banks and the retailers profit from your fatigue. Most people misunderstand minimalism. They think it's about living in a white box with one chair and eating lentils for every meal. They think it's about deprivation. Minimalism isn't about depriving yourself of a nice dinner. It's about having the liquid cash to look a toxic boss in the eye and say, "I quit," without panicking. Real financial minimalism isn't about what you take away, it's about what you protect. It's about protecting your mental RAM. Every bill you have to remember, every subscription you have to track, every debt that whispers in the back of your mind, it's all taking up processing power. We normalize this struggle. We think it's adulting to be constantly stressed about cash flow. We think it's normal to have 5 bank accounts and 4 credit cards and a car loan that feels like a heavy chain around our neck. But it's not normal, it's just common. And the common path leads to a life where you are perpetually negotiable, where you can't say no to a toxic boss, can't take a risk on a new dream, and can't truly rest because the engine of your lifestyle requires constant, high-octane fuel just to stay idle. The system gets rich off your slippage, those hidden fees and impulse buys that hide like parasites in your cluttered accounts. To stop the bleeding, we have to amputate the noise. Let's look at rule number 1, the one hub rule. Think about your current financial setup. You probably have a checking account here, a savings account there, a credit card with this bank for the points, and another one with that bank because you've had it forever. Every one of these is a leak in your focus. When your money is fragmented, you lose the weight of your capital. You can't feel the impact of your spending because it's spread across 5 different digital portals. I know the finance bros will tell you to juggle 6 credit cards for travel points, but the mental bandwidth you spend tracking payment dates and annual fees is costing you far more in stress and missed opportunities than the $300 in points you got last year. Complexity is the enemy of wealth. Minimalism suggests that you consolidate one primary hub, one savings engine, one method of transaction. When you can see your entire financial reality in one glance, something physiological changes. The unknown becomes known, and the brain fears the unknown far more than it fears a low balance. Rule number 2, the wait until it hurts rule. We are living in an era of anticipatory consumption. We buy the new laptop before the old one actually stops working because we imagine the future frustration of a slow computer. We buy the bigger house because we imagine we'll eventually need the space. We are solving problems that don't exist yet with money we haven't earned yet. Minimalist money says, stop solving problems that haven't happened. Use the old car until it is truly a burden. Keep the phone until the battery can't hold a charge for more than 2 hours. By living at the edge of your current tools, you create a massive gap between what you can afford and what you actually use. That gap is where your freedom lives. But before these rules can work, you have to kill the parasite. I call this the interest gravity. If you have a 22% credit card balance, you are walking around in a lead suit. Every move you make takes 3 times as much energy. Every dollar you earn has to fight the downward pull of interest before it can do anything for you. Most people try to invest their way out of this, chasing a 7% return in the stock market while carrying a 22% balance on a credit card. It's like trying to fly a plane with a giant lead anchor dragging behind it. You have to drop the anchor before you can fly. Minimalist money demands that you cut the anchor first, not because it's smart, but because it clears the mental field. Rule number 3, the rule of 3-digit freedom.
Think about the last time you spent $100 without thinking. A dinner out, a few items on Amazon, a pair of shoes. For most of us, $100 is the impulse threshold. But what if you lowered that threshold to $10? What if every purchase over $10 required a conscious yes? This isn't about being cheap. It's about forcing your brain to acknowledge the trade you're making. Money is just a medium for time. When you spend $100, you aren't spending paper. You're spending 2, 3, maybe 5 hours of your life that you will never get back. Is that dinner worth 5 hours of your one and only life? Sometimes yes, often no. There's a moment that happens for everyone who adopts these rules. It's not a financial epiphany, it's a nervous system epiphany. You'll be sitting at your desk, or maybe you'll be out for a walk, and you'll realize that for the first time in years, you aren't calculating. You aren't doing that frantic mental math we all do, subtracting the upcoming rent from the current balance, adding the expected paycheck, and hoping the insurance doesn't hit before Friday. The turning point is when you move from reactive to proactive. When your life is simple, you realize that money is no longer a character in your daily drama. It becomes what it was always meant to be, a tool, like a hammer or a wrench. You don't think about your hammer all day. You only think about it when you need to drive a nail. When you reach this stage, your decision-making changes. You start to value space more than stuff. You realize that a $50,000 car doesn't make you feel powerful. Having $50,000 in a liquid account that gives you the ability to quit a job you hate makes you feel powerful. This is the psychological shift. You stop measuring your worth by your outflow, how much you spend, what you wear, where you go, and you start measuring it by your optionality. You realize that true wealth is the ability to walk into a room and know that you don't need anything from the people inside it. You aren't desperate for their approval, their promotion, or their business because your cost of living, is so small and your foundation is so solid that you are essentially unbuyable. I don't want you moving into a van. I want you to become bulletproof. Here is the exact step-by-step surgical audit you are going to do this weekend to reclaim your income. Step 1. The subscription guillotine. We have entered the subscription economy. Everything is a monthly fee, $10 here, $15 there. It feels small, but it's death by 1,000 cuts. More importantly, it's a commitment your brain has to track. I want you to look at your bank statement and find every recurring charge. If you haven't used it in the last 14 days, kill it. If you need it later, you can buy it back. But for now, clear the field. You'll be surprised how much mental noise vanishes when those little notifications stop hitting your inbox. Step 2. The 24-hour rule for digital contentment. The internet is a machine designed to make you feel incomplete. You see an ad, you feel a lack, and you click Buy Now. It's too easy. From now on, any purchase that isn't food or medicine goes into the cart and stays there for 24 hours, no exceptions. 90% of the time, the next morning, that need will have evaporated. You'll realize that you were just tired or bored or looking for a hit of dopamine to survive a Tuesday. Step 3. Build your boring fortress. We are taught that investing should be exciting. We see people talking about crypto, day trading, and the next big thing. But minimalist money is boring. You want your money to sit in a simple, broad market index fund that you don't check more than once a quarter. You want an emergency fund that sits in a high-yield savings account and does absolutely nothing. Complexity is the enemy of consistency. If your investment strategy requires you to watch the news or check an app every day, you haven't bought an investment, you've bought another job, and you're probably not getting paid enough for it. Finally, let's talk about the lifestyle cap. Decide right now what enough looks like for your basic lifestyle. If you earned $5,000 a month and you can live comfortably with $3,500, cap your lifestyle there. When you get a raise, when you get a bonus, when you get a tax refund, don't move the cap. The surplus doesn't go to a better car, it goes to your freedom fund. This is how you build a life that is high margin. Businesses with high margins survive recessions. People with high margins survive life. I want to leave you with a thought. There is an old saying that the best things in life aren't things. It sounds like a cliché, but as you simplify your financial life, it starts to feel like a fundamental law of physics. When you follow these minimalist rules, something strange happens to your perception of time. When you aren't constantly worried about the next payment or the next must-have item, the days start to feel longer. You notice the way the light hits the trees in the evening. You actually taste your food. You can listen to your partner or your child without a corner of your brain calculating the cost of the upcoming weekend. You aren't doing this to be a good person or a disciplined saver. You're doing this because your life energy is the only truly finite resource you have. Closing an account, paying off a card, or saying no to a purchase isn't a loss, it's an investment in your future sanity. It's the act of clearing the brush so you can finally see the path ahead. Take a breath. You're doing better than you think. I'll see you in the next one.